Ladies and gentlemen, how do you do? Do you like these? Should I do the whole video like this with the light going across my face like that? It kind of looks like I'm an alien from Avatar. If you're lucky, you can hear the ice cream truck driving by. Right now it's playing Home Home on the Range. Today I want to talk about something that I have lived with my whole life, and that is anticipatory anxiety. And I'm going to probably say the phrase anticipatory anxiety a lot in this video, so brace yourself. So I specify it as anticipatory anxiety because it's different than just general anxiety where you can be anxious for no reason. Anticipatory anxiety is about something coming up in the future, something you gotta do, some kind of event. There is something in the future that is causing the anxiety. It's basically dreading it. And then afterward, you feel a great sense of relief and you're like, man, I'm glad that's over. Maybe you're like that meme and you say, everything turned out better than expected. The thing is, anticipatory anxiety isn't about just like bad things. It's about everything. It's about neutral things. It can even be about good things where you're just like, man, you dread everything in your life. Anything that you have to do that isn't sitting in your room is something that you dread. Now, I first heard the term when I took the Big Five test. I took that test a few months ago and made a video about it, and I scored very high in neuroticism. And one of the components of neuroticism was high anticipatory anxiety. Basically, it is this negative emotion where you're just expecting bad things to happen in the future. I've been dealing with anticipatory anxiety, A squared, for my whole life, since I was a child. And it's almost like when I was a kid, I didn't understand why other people weren't this way. To give you an example, this is going to sound extreme, but it really happened. For all of first grade and all of fourth grade, now it might not have been every day, but I would say it was most days. In those 2 years, I got so worked up every day and so nervous that I threw up, like every day. It happened like clockwork. It was to the point where it was almost like a joke. The nurse at school wasn't shocked when I came in. I was at the nurse's office so many times that they didn't even send me home. You know, usually when a kid throws up, they send them home. With me, they didn't send me home because it happened so often. I'd be going home every day. And why? Why did I get so anxious? It was because I was afraid of missing the bus. I like, toward, isn't that weird? Like, as a kid, here I am. As the day is winding down, I'm thinking to myself, oh no, I'm going to miss the bus. I'm going to get left here. And I would get so frightened and so anxious that I would throw up. And the absurd thing is, I went to school about 5 minutes drive from home. So even if I did miss the bus, even if I was abandoned at school, it wasn't a big deal. I could have walked home in about an hour, you know? Well, and that was in first grade. In fourth grade, I threw up every day because I was worried about my little brother missing the bus. And I was worried that I was going to be on the bus and look out the window and the bus is driving away and my little brother's on the sidewalk, you know, left behind. And it's been like that ever since. I mean, I don't throw up every day, but I basically dread everything and I'm anxious about everything that I have to do. And so in a way, that's why I'm so, I'm not a total recluse, but more often than not, I would prefer to stay at home. People invite me out. I don't like to take them up on it because I just get so... It's gotten better over the years, but I still get a bit of anxiety when I'm asked to go out, especially if it's something new or doing something new. I really don't like it. Of course, it has this side effect of making you look cool because you're declining everyone's offers to do things. Like, hey, you want to go to a party? Hey, you want to hang out? And you're like, no, because you're really frightened inside, but everyone thinks you're cool and that you just have better things to do. But you just actually have anticipatory anxiety. And the problem with this as you get older is that you don't know anymore. It's like I've never known what do I really not want to do, and what is just the anticipatory anxiety. And I have a very difficult time distinguishing those things because the anxiety makes me not want to do things. And so it's hard to extricate the two and to know for sure, oh, I just don't want to do this thing. Now, why this is problematic is that the only way to fight this anxiety and to get better is to do things you don't want to do. And so I'm in the habit of doing a lot of things that I don't want to do because I'm like, well, I'm just anxious. That's why I don't want to, hang out with these friends. That's why I don't want to go down to this event in this part of town that I'm not familiar with. It's because of the anxiety. So I constantly am going against what I want or don't want to do because I know it's being fueled by something that is not good, the anxiety. But when you're so used to doing that, after a while it's like, well, wait, maybe I really don't want to go to this event. Maybe I am anxious about it too, but I actually don't want to go. That's the hang up. I don't know anymore. I don't know what I want to do, what I don't want to do. I mean, it's not like I don't want to do anything ever, especially when familiarity kind of breaks down the anxiety. Then it's like, okay, yeah, I want to go to this place. I've been there a few times. I know what it's like. Yeah, I'll even try this new thing because it doesn't seem that big of a deal compared with these other things. So it's different depending on the situation, but by and large, there's a little bit of anxiety with every prospective thing to do in the future. I'm afraid the only way to really combat anticipatory anxiety is by just doing the things that you're anxious about, just going ahead and doing it, fighting it, going against it. I know that with general anxiety, there are some medications that help, and if the anxiety is really bad, then there are medications that help. But if you just are a neurotic person like me who has this anticipatory anxiety, you can get better at it and you can lessen the anxiety by going out and just facing those things and going through with the things that you don't want to do because you're anxious about it. And what I found is, don't just do the thing that you're anxious about, but go like a step above and beyond. For instance, let's say you are always anxious about riding the bus, right? And you're throwing up every day, you're really anxious about it. Instead of just getting on the bus, that'll help. After a while you ride the bus, you're fine. What might be better is to get on a plane, something that's way worse in your mind, and to face something bigger. And through facing that, the bus is like, small stuff. That's for chumps, okay? I fly planes. And it's through that relativity of anxieties that you can get over the small stuff. You've just got to push yourself. That's all there is to it. And it's the same with social anxiety, that if you just keep doing the things that you're afraid of that make you anxious, the anxiety will lessen over time. But if you don't, if you just sequester yourself in your room and continually not do the things that you're anxious about, the anxiety will grow and it'll be harder to break. So that's what I want to encourage you to do. If you happen to have high anticipatory anxiety, if you're a neurotic person like me, join the club. This is what we do. We do stuff we don't want to do. And that brings me to what the next video is going to be tomorrow. We're going to talk about agreeing to do stuff while in your mind you're screaming no. So it's a slightly different topic, but it's related to this one because, as I said, it's difficult for me to know what I actually want to do and what I just am anxious about, So I say yes to a lot of things even though I don't want to. So tomorrow we're going to talk about how to actually figure that out and say no to the things we actually don't want to do and yes to the things that we want to do, maybe even if we're anxious about it. So tune in then. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. give it a thumbs up if you'd be so kind, because it helps out. It helps a boy out. And I'll see you tomorrow.